How you doing today, folks? And today we have an unboxing for you, or I have an unboxing for you. Well, I'm saying we, there's just me here, of an OTF from Maxace. I forgot the name of this, but if you're clicking on the video, you can see the thumbnail, which has the name attached, as well as in the actual description, so you will know. Unboxing knife is the Guardian Tactical Recon 040. I love this damn knife. But this one is similar dimensions, so it might just replace it. We'll see. $100 OTF, like $300 American-made OTF. Will China win? Probably not, but I don't know. We'll see. So this is a knife that is now discontinued. So if you want it, it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to get it. It was originally $100. I paid $120 for this from dude Stonewash something on Instagram. Forgot his name. Okay, so this is the Neptune. This is the Maxace Knives Neptune. So immediate thing is it kind of reminds me of a Scarab because it has the traction tape inlays right here, which feel okay. The actual scales themselves, which I'm guessing are aluminum. Doesn't say, unfortunately, but it feels kind of like aluminum. Are very, very slippery, like very slick, almost polished-like. So the mixture of the traction tape with like the polished scale feels really weird. It's almost like they made it the way it was originally without these here. And oh, this is so slippery. You need to put something there. And they just added traction tape to it. That feels kind of disjointed. I also, let's see. Doesn't really work very well. So it's pretty easy to pull out of your hand. So, I mean, that's the thing, I guess. As far as the blade, we have a Tonto with a fairly decent blade to handle ratio. I mean, it's not the greatest by any means, but it's not absolutely horrible. Yeah, it's not bad. More blade is always better, but, you know, it's fine for what it is. As far as the action, it is slightly stiff, kind of like an Ultratech feel. Definitely not as stiff as a Combat Troodon, but Ultratech, probably. Immediately, the button is a lot smaller than the Ultratech, or thinner anyways, and a lot thinner than most OTFs, including my baby here, the Guardian Tactical Recon 040. And there's not very aggressive jimping. It's enough there to kind of lock your finger in, but when you're moving it, you can feel it start to slide off, and then it just gradually pops out. So it feels a little janky, to be honest with you guys. I'm also immediately tearing up my thumb a little bit, which is not because it's a strong switch. It's because it's so thin that when you're actually really trying to actuate it, it's like a hot spot. Is the action bad? No, not at all, but it's also not great. As far as the fit and finish goes, from what I can tell, I'll put it up there so you guys can see it as well. Looks pretty clean overall. No nicks or scratches or anything that I can really see, which means Stonewash guy, not the actual name. Actual name is Chris J. Harmony, but he has like a Stonewash EDC, something like that, on Instagram. Probably did not use this, or if he did, it was very, very light. But fit and finish feels good. I don't notice any like loose screws or anything like that. Glass breaker solid. There is not a carbide tip on the glass breaker. It's just like almost like a sharp piece. So that's not really going to break glass. It's better than your fist, sure, but it's not the same. That little carbide piece at the end of the glass breaker serves a purpose. This is not going to be great. It's more of an aesthetic appeal. Excuse me. I also don't believe the pot clip is reversible. So if you're left-handed, you're kind of screwed. It has the same styles where you should be able to unscrew that and move it around, but there is like a milling thing in here to where it kind of sits recessed. and it's not on the other side. So to the best of my knowledge, and I could be wrong here, but to the best of my personal knowledge, it is not reversible. As far as hotspots go, I can immediately feel the clip. When I deploy it, I have my finger up here for actual use. I can feel the clip. I can feel these little narrow kind of jimping things on the actual switch itself. Doesn't feel bad. Doesn't feel good. It's okay. If I choke up, this actual blade is very thin up here. It's almost like a false edge. So it is not sharp, but it's pretty thin. Looks kind of big on camera, actually. It's thin in person. It's because right here is thicker than right here, so it tapers upwards, so you can't really see it on camera. But on the top swedge is pretty thin. So putting your thumb there does not feel good. This actually kind of hurts. Not bad, mind you, but it sucks for sure. As far as carry goes, in yield basketball shorts per usual, it's all right. It does slide in fairly well, slides out fairly well. Not great, it's not bad. As far as an overall thing, though, I cannot help but feel like this is cheap. Now, mind you, it's $100 for what boils down to M390 aluminum, traction grip inlays. The M390 is debatable. It's Chinese M390. Could be good to go. Could be terrible. I just don't know. So that has to kind of be like a wash, I guess. Maybe over time we'll see, because I will actually use this knife. And we'll see how it actually really holds up. But for right now, it's kind of just an eh. We can hope for the best, I guess. But overall, it feels insubstantial. It feels kind of cheap, to where you hold this and you're, okay, I can feel the premium quality of this all. Deploy the action. Okay, I can feel the snap, feel the pushback. You can feel it actually flex your arm when you're actually deploying it. This one flexes your arm because you have to put so much force in the switch, and then it deploys. As in, that one just fires out and your arm actually ripples. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad at all. If you're on a budget and you're still available for $100, is it worth it? Probably, for most folks. I'm more into the higher end stuff. I don't mind paying a little bit extra money for a better product overall. So it's kind of a miss for me personally. But I don't hate it. I just don't love it. To be honest, I kind of barely even like it. I can't really tell you why, though, because everything on paper, so to speak, when I'm talking about the different qualities of the piece, it all seems pretty good to go. But there's just something missing, that oomph, that je ne sais quoi, to be a fancy fuck, that really kind of brings it all together. And yeah, this is definitely not going to be a keeper. I am going to use this a little bit, test it a little bit. But if you are interested in this knife, by all means, let me know. They retail for $100 back in the day. They're now discontinued. I paid $120 for it. That also included shipping. I'll sell it for $100 net if you want it, which basically means you pay for shipping, send me a label or whatever the case may be, or I send you the receipt, and then you go about paying however much shipping is, and then you pay $100 net. Or I get $100 net back, so I'm gonna lose $20 off top. Again, I don't think it's bad. It's just, it's not great. It's good. And if good enough is good enough for you, then you'll probably enjoy the Neptune. I will say it's a pretty piece, man. As far as the aesthetic wise, I do like the way it looks overall. But like, if they added like some texture onto the actual scales, or they like stone wash, so there's a slight like matte texture to it, so it's not so slippery, I think this would actually be a much more enjoyable knife. The super slippery action within the traction tape there, which feels like almost like we're trying to overcorrect the problem, doesn't feel great. It overall just gives me sort of just a cheap feeling. But if you don't care, you can buy it, I guess. And if not, then I'll beat it up and do some torture testing with it But as always, folks, I love you all. This is the first impressions. This is not a review of the Maxace Knives Neptune OTF. I love you all. Please take care, and bye-bye.